it's like I don't got time to go on a vacation because this comes first. This comes first, and then my kids come second. You just said this. It's like you repeating yourself, or is this poorly written interview? YouTube was good. It's your boy LaRon, potent pondering, never pandering. I'm back with another video. Please come in and thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, hit all notifications so you have my videos in your possession each and every time I go live or I do uploads. Shout out to all of my new subscribers. Shout out to my returning subscribers. I hope y'all all doing well. So listen, we're going to come and talk about a few different topics, just maybe about 2 topics I want to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about is a situation with Soulja Boy and William the Baddest. So he said that he had some sort of fling or whatever with Soulja Boy. Now listen, people would get up and he was speaking to Tasha K. Now I just want to make something very clear. I would never even know this kid's name had he been associated. He's been associated with Tasha K. I believe he's been on her platform too. And he looks like some sort of trailer trash. Wasn't this the same white kid who was saying that his parents left him and he was raised by black people or something like that? I wasn't amused by his storyline or anything. Now, I do feel like anybody can get up on any platform and say whatever they want to, right? But Soulja Boy, he seemed like he was playing too much in his response. So listen, Soulja Boy, I had to think about what he said to Meek Mill. He said, didn't Diddy boink you in the B-U-T-T? And I thought about it. That doesn't mean that, he's phobic or anything like that. Maybe he's the doer, you know what I'm saying? And William was the pusher-outer. I don't know. But listen, his response was really maybe he planned that so that he didn't seem so pressed. Listen, I don't know what Soulja Boy's preferences, the references, or whatever, but I just felt like, why would William get up there and say that? And then Soulja Boy's being playful with his braids, like looking all like, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I thought that was interesting. So y'all already know that I want to touch on Cardi B and her Rolling Stones interview. Now, Cardi B, the first listen, when I seen her pop up on Rolling Stones and the image on Twitter, I said, who is this girl trying to be? I actually wish I could pull up, but I'm not gonna go into that. But I pulled up what I said about her on Twitter. Cardi B is a joke. Listen, are you like tired and bored of your washed out look that you just got to resort to like trying to make your skin look more bronzy or whatever? Are you not satisfied with that appearance? Because I don't understand, because you don't look like that. You don't look like that. And it's like, what are you trying to do? Not only are you trying to give off the facade that you are a black woman, but you in this interview with these photos, what are you trying to do? Like, yo, that's weird. So Cardi B did an interview with Rolling Stones, you know what I'm saying? And from the onset of reading the article, I felt like it was already delusional. Cardi B proving her greatness. I'm that BITCH and y'all effing know it. No, we don't know it. You dropped 4 songs this year and they all flopped, and your fans know it too. No, you're not. She got a lot of courage. So we're going to read this article, right? So she's on a mission to cement her legacy while handling the pressures of marriage, motherhood, and follow up to a classic debut that was forced with payola and sympathy. Yes, it was forced. That's why. Because listen, if you got it hard the first time, why you can't do it again? Let's get into the article. Cardi B is makeup free. I would love to know how that looked. And draped in orange, possibly plush queen size blanket as she shuffles into the Glenwood Place Studios in Burbank, California, around 9 o'clock in the evening of mid-March. Whatever hairstyle she currently has. So this took place in March. Listen, it could be anything from a wig worth thousands to her fluffy waist-length natural hair. It's tucked under the giant bonnet. It's magenta and teal geometric print, immediately familiar from the video she posted on TikTok. Didn't Megan Thee Stallion just diss somebody from doing TikToks and they want to run around and do bestie, do your challenge, do your challenge. These girls are so fake. So Cardi, who has been handling phone calls and other tasks since 9 a.m., is feeling drained. I would feel drained too if I put 4 songs that ain't go nowhere. She's here to work on her upcoming album, and tonight she's also tasked with what she calls aggressive promotion for her new single, Enough Miami, which debuted at the number 9 spot on Billboard, and it ain't been up ever since. And you know what? She done had enough. And the fans had enough. They begging for more new music. She put out 4 songs, and they begging for more. Listen, deal with what you got with. So let's continue on to the article. Right now, I'm getting cursed out because I was supposed to be on Station Head. You in an interview talking about Station Head. Not saying that Station Head isn't valuable, but shorty, She says, referring to the live streaming app on which she is expected to be interacting with her fans, Stan Army Barty Gang. I got 3,000 fans like the beat. She growls, mimicking furry suspects in brewing. She does eventually appear on the app, and Enough hits #1 on Billboard digital sales charts. Who cares? Who cares? Yeah, you did pre-sales for it and all of that too. Who cares if it hit #1? Like, why you blackfishing? Why? Anyway, Cardi isn't the only star at work in the building tonight. Lizzo pops into Cardi's room to say hello. Look at you. She cools, hugging Cardi. You look like a little angel. I love you. She jokingly encourages Cardi to promote clothes. Her shapewear brand Yitty sent Cardi's way, post and tag, before announcing that she's off to get some DICK. I guess that's what Lizzo was off to get. Lucky you, Cardi says. Lucky you. So Cardi needs coffee because she's so damn tired. When it arrives, she tears open several packets of sugar and dumps them into her mug. She probably needs to do a Candida. What is it? Candida? You need to do a Candida cleanse. Yeah. So she dumps several packets into her mug along with some cream. Despite her visceral fatigue, it doesn't take long for her to animate. When she cracks jokes or speaks hyperbolically, there is an undercurrent of laughter and gurgles into the throat, but doesn't always break. Like a stand-up who knows not to spend too much time on giggling at herself. Shit, have you seen that in the mirror? I could drink a dark coffee, she said, but only my family could make a dark coffee I could drink. And somebody said, is it a different type of coffee? She said, no, they make it with love. Well, if they make it with love, how did you end up in the strip club? How you end up in the strip club if you had all this la familia, you had all this love around you? Listen. So she said they make it with love, she says, shrinking into a petite Disney princess swoon. Imagery. Listen. It's easy to forget that the 31-year-old superstar born Belcalis Emelines Amazon is only one album deep, one record-breaking Grammy-winning, culture-shifting album, but one nonetheless. In 2018, Invasion of Privacy shot Cardi from Instagram theatrics to reality show shenanigans into the stratosphere. Just 3 years prior, she was stripping. Should have stayed there. Coming on the heels of Bodak Yellow, one of the most important songs in the history of New York rap. The album's emotional range and tight execution helped her usher in an era of all kinds of women in hip hop have broken through and thrived. They ain't all thriving. Don't let them lie to you. They just saying anything in this article to boost Cardi up to make it seem like she's some music guru. She's not. We know she's not, because if she was, she wouldn't be playing these reindeer games that she's doing now. So anyway, these labels was not believing in repping new rap artists. Cardi says people from every single label have effing told me that this shit is in my face. They started signing new female rappers after I got signed, whether some bitches could be the greatest rappers or they just make good music. At the end of the effing day, guess what? They're in your playlist right now. Cardi, I want to tell you something right now, and I've said this since day one. You ushered in some female rappers who probably got inspired because they realized how talentless you were, and that it would be that, of course, that they was better than you, right? And I always said this. Pay attention and to the fans or whatever. I said Cardi is going to let these girls come into the game and thinking that they're going to get the same support that she did, because her support was manufactured in an attempt to try to take Nicki Minaj down. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. And they're not going to get the same radio play as you, even though they deserve it. They're not going to get the same push as you. So you're going to inspire people to come in the game, and they're going to end up being broke anyway. The same ones that you was calling poor on your on your Twitter Spaces. Yeah, that's your style. So you're going to inspire people to do what? You ain't inspiring no go-getters because you got it cheap. You got it the easy way. And I don't care how many strip clubs you performed in and you told them to book you for performances when you was coming there to strip and host. So along the way, Cardi became a mother of two, a mother 2 times over without losing herself in the role. Instead, she amped up every part of her being, including her sexuality, making her film debut in Jennifer Lopez stripper heist Hustlers, which flopped in the soundtrack flopped too, right? And recording history's greatest ode to The V Word, 2020's WAP with Megan Thee Stallion. She earned more than 1 billion streams for 4 separate songs on Spotify. So it was like, was this whole Spotify thing in connection with this article to validate your character? Like, you see what I said when I said that that whole Spotify thing was an event? They planned that. They planned it. Other artists have multiple billions. They had to make a thing out of that to make Cardi feel like she was noteworthy or what. And guess what? All of them songs you got 1 billion streams on, get it now. Get it now. Shut us up. Shut the fans up now who say that Spotify ain't got a lie to really streaming my music, that applies to you. Shut us up. Because ever since they had to take away the playlisting, the fake playlist from overseas in Brazil that used to put you at the top of the list and give you those streams, you ain't been going up like that no more. It's smoke and mirrors for these terrorists. So listen. So she got on Spotify, and she went on a historic feature run, landing her bold personality to rap newcomers like Glorilla, R&B singers like Summer Walker. She flopped two of the songs that she was on with Summer Walker. Why y'all mentioning this? See, this is why I feel like people who write these articles are not from our community. She flopped 2 songs, one recently with Flo Milli, Summer Walker. No. I'm sorry. She flopped with Flo Milli and SZA. SZA was on the song with Summer Walker. That's what I got mixed up. That's me mixed up bad. So listen, and then Latin stars like Shakira, and you gave Shakira a flop too because she was blinded by the smoke and mirror, seeing all them Spotify streams and said, if I collaborate with Cardi, I'm going to get a hit. And guess what? Faulty, in my opinion, faulty. She should have collaborated with Nicki. Despite those accomplishments, the prospect of a follow-up invasion of privacy always loomed over Cardi. She's proclaimed that her sophomore album was coming nearly every year since her first, ever since she dropped Money. I want to let you know that when Cardi dropped Money, then she dropped Please Me, then Press, all of those songs, that was all lead up to an album. She just didn't release it because she wasn't confident, right? So we gonna talk, right? So along the way, she's worried. Could she match her previous success? Did she have the right songs? In February, her husband and fellow Offset put it out plainly. Stop being scary and drop the album. Shit goes crazy. Offset inspired Cardi B to drop Enough. And guess what? It ain't did enough. It debuted in the top 10 based off how much they surged and bought it the first week and what it do after that. An Instagram video from March 1st, Cardi B promised to do just that, saying that she would release an album this year. And she also said that she was going to release 4 songs that we keep referencing that didn't go anywhere. By the middle of May, however, she will backpedal in the heated online exchange with her followers. Or they tried to update this to make it seem like it was recent. Do you see the manipulation with these publications? You said in the beginning of this publication that this interview took place in March. We are now in May. So you added stuff from May to make it seem, yo. So let me turn that off. So as Cardi and her Spotify commemorate those 4 songs hitting 1 billion streams each, she'll spot fans on X posting skeptically about the status of the album and the fireback. This is a big accomplishment for me. And of course, here comes Barty Gang complaining like, damn, I can't celebrate shit. So she'll write, adding, anyway, no album from me this year. I don't care. I'm relaxing. Soon after, however, she'll delete the latter tweet with her rep confirming to Rolling Stones that the album in 2024 is still a plan. Because, you know, Atlantic Records had to get into the mix and to let people know that Cardi was dropping the album this year. Drop the album or drop her. Like, you know what I'm saying? She'll make it off of whipped cream. I'm pretty sure she'll be fine. And she'll always be able to get booked to perform Bodak Yellow. She said she gonna do what or who? She'll always be able to book those songs that make her seem like a black girl in the club. She will, right? So when we meet this March night, when we met this March night in Los Angeles, California, in fact, Cardi was working earnestly towards completing it, but there's a lot left to do. It needs an intro and at least 3 more songs. It needs a title. When Cardi B released Bongos, was it Bongos or was the song that she did with Lil Durk and Kanye? Remember, she was just like, I just need 1 more song. And she was talking to Angie Martinez. You do the work. I'm not going to do the work for you. You go to YouTube and bring up the interview that she did with Angie Martinez. She said she only needed a few more songs at that point. Cardi B is always moving the goalposts because she's not a real artist and she's trying to live in a Nicki Minaj world. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. She said it needs features, whatever. Being out here is my punishment, she says. Until I have the album ready, I'm not going home. All right, more pictures of her blackfishing. Having spent the past 3 months recording in LA and Miami, cities that are functionally office buildings to her, Cardi is homesick for her hustling mansion just outside of her hometown of New York. When I come to LA, I'll be like, I'm ready to get this ish done, she says. Then 8 days and my mind starts missing home, feeling lonely. And I be like, girl, as if confronting myself, I miss my kids. Brunson, who has been by her side since 2016, says that making music involves a roller coaster of emotions for Cardi. When we good, we knocking them out, verse after verse, hook, ad libs. I'm like, you're done quick. You sure? But when she's going through it, it's going to be a long day. Cardi holds herself exorbitant standards. She wants the album to have a wide reach, but also reflect that she's a mosaic of a woman. I'm a different person every single day, she says. It sounds like bipolar disorder to me. When I'm in a good mood and when I'm with my friends, I'm like, damn, I want my shit to be played in the club. Like enough when you wanted to match F the club up and it just wasn't enough. Yeah. Yeah. You were so mad that Nicki was back in the clubs with F the club up. It hurt your little soul. You was like, me and me and you know you winning. And nobody's singing it. All right. So but then I might be mad at my man. So it's like I want to do this song, but then I want to do a pop record. You did a pop record with Shakira and it didn't go nowhere. You tried to do pop Latin mix and it didn't work. All right. So more than anything, Cardi wants to prove once for all that the past 6 years haven't happened by luck or hype, and she's working painstakingly, anxiety-inducingly hard to do so. After I leave the studio, Cardi needs to pour over her unmixed and unmastered songs. When I see her next in New York, I watch her punch in lines dozens of times, fixating every tick, pitch, inflection, accent. They trying to make her seem like she's so hands-on. If you so hands-on and you so write your own raps. If you so hands-on, come up with your own sound and everything like that. They want her to sound so hands-on this. And thank God that interviews are just online. I mean, the average person is not reading interviews. You know that like a lot of people didn't even read this interview, like, you know, word for word on the platform. People don't read interviews, but I know that she's a quack, so I have to read it just to break apart the hypocrisy. She surveys confidence from all walks of life. I have friends that are scammers, and I got bitches that work 9 to 5 on her work in progress. She endures the punishment of being away from home. So when she in doubt, so when people doubt her dedication to her craft, it gets under her skin. Like yesterday, I was scrolling through TikTok and a bitch made me cry. She admits solemnly from the studio couch. She was like, she has got to give it up. She's better off being an influencer. You always cosplaying being a black woman and a rapper. She like, ooh, child, cool down, too hot, too wild. All right. Because you don't take it seriously. That's why you don't put out your music. And it's like, I take my music so effing seriously, and that's why I don't put it out. You ain't a real artist because you want to live up to some level that you can't organically just be on your own. You got to send it through reviews, and you got to send it to Party first. Party got to write it. Then you got to send it over to the label. Then you got to send it to Brooklyn Johnny. Then you got to send it to Star Brim to see if it get the hood rap ratchet approval. Then you got to send it. You know what I'm saying? This is why you should have never damaged your relationship with Nicki Minaj, and you would have been able to go straight to the balls, right? But you wanted to act like you was more than being some gutter snipe, poor, biscuit eating Polari, trying to think that you're gonna come in this game and take this black woman out. That's what you really thought was gonna happen. See, I don't ran my mouth so much your screen blocked. All right, so. All right, so she says she takes her music so serious, but because if it's not perfect to my ear, if every effing word doesn't sound like it's pronounced right, if the beat is overpowering in the words and it's overpowering in the beat, I don't want to put it out. All right. She continues, when you give so much and somebody just drags it all down, like you're just playing with your P word all day. Hold on a second, because this ad keeps popping on. This P word all day, just watching Netflix and effing all day, it's really hurtful. Listen, but you're not the only artist who goes through that. Of course, the album is just one hurdle now that Cardi B, the daughter of a Dominican-born cabbie father and careful Trinidadian mother, raised poor in the Bronx. She earned most of what she's wanted, and she's been tasked with a new kind of survival and propelling her life, family, and legacy forward without getting stuck in the traps of perfectionism or criticism. Well, it sounds like perfectionism and criticism to me. So, and if she works to solidify her status as a rap icon, she struggles to manage the more mortal but no less important challenges of motherhood and marriage. So Cardi B's home, and the homiest on the week, and the homiest Cardi B is at home. It's homiest on the weekends. So that's when she tells LA she had the 8 people who live with her in New Jersey, her kids, Culture, H5, Wave, her son, her aunt, and all of these other people. I'm not, are joined by family. Cardi feels most like herself then, with everyone sharing food and music, the real music she like to listen to, that Latino music, whatever it is. That's the real music. I've observed her in her natural habitat, and she doesn't listen to rap music. This is all a game for her and a ploy. She want to be a female rapper because she wants to be a black girl like Nicki Minaj. So let's go on. She's the music. Cardi feels more like herself when they eat an oxtail. We do a lot of fried fish. She says we do a lot of crab legs. We do a lot of goat. She has a Filipino aunt by marriage who makes desserts with mango, condensed milk, and lychee jelly, as well as a savory meat dish. We don't care about what you're eating. Let me scroll down. Cardi's family proudly plays her songs at the house, though she rather they didn't. She hates her voice, and we do too. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, ooh, child, cool down. I wonder if she says, ooh, child, cool down. You think she says that to her Latina family? Ooh, child, cool down, too hot. They was like, girl, why are you talking like that? So, she says she rather they not. Oh God, here y'all go. She says with a bashful smile, elongating for the dramatic effect. Most often, though, they listen to Spanish language music. Thank you. My country. She means Dominican Republic. They listen to merengue. They listen to topico. They listen to bachata. I'm really into that. She'd like to make a Spanish language album in the near future, but she's not smart enough. As soon as I finish this album, I'm going to effing Puerto Rico, Cardi says, especially to make reggaeton there. All right. So Cardi then says Cardi's preferences are dictated by her moods. If I feel good, if I'm with my family, if I'm eating goat, if I'm listening to merengue, Antonio Santos, or some local Dominican artist, she says, if I'm moody, I'm probably going to listen to a very old Shakira song. None of these songs are representative of hip hop. Why you ain't going that culture and try to take the money out of there? But no, you want to go on Atlantic Records and take the opportunity from another black woman. You ain't mentioned no rap music in none of this article. So when Cardi was younger, she told herself that she'd be a mother by 25, a prophecy she fulfilled at what seemed to be an inopportune time. She gave birth just 5 months after Invasion Privacy dropped. And right as she was planning for a national tour, you nixed the chance to go on tour with Bruno Mars because you got pregnant. That's a blessing, though. I was really, really scared, says Cardi. I just felt like, damn, I'm letting everybody down. I'm letting my family down. I'm letting everybody that works for me down. Yeah, you know, things happen in the universe for a reason because you weren't a nice person. So whatever God had to do to make that tour not happen with Bruno Mars, he made it happen. God always has a way, and the universe has a way of getting people back and stifling them, rightfully so, because you was too arrogant. You was too arrogant. So listen, she backed out of the tour to be home with Culture. My baby was so little, germs and planes and air popping were newborn. Asked Cardi, can you imagine a baby in an effing tour bus? She compared the first year of her motherhood to comparing on a game show. Think the obstacle course on vintage Nickelodeon's Legend. Oh, listen, this don't have nothing to do with this. So you couldn't put your baby on a plane or anything like that. Like you ain't want to do it. Just say that. I asked her if she means postpartum depression, postpartum everything. If it becomes depression because it's a drastic change, she says. When she had Wave in 2021, she was better able to stay afloat. She found reprieve and a trip to Paris soon after he was born, but also at her local IHOP, where she often rolls solo for bananas Foster pancakes. And also remember, she attempted to attack Nicki Minaj by throwing a shoe at her a few days after she gave birth to her baby, her first child. So she was with her children. Cardi indulges, and when she's with her children, Cardi indulges in simple pleasures, cuddling in bed, talking, taking them to Target. She and Culture enjoys dates to the gym and restaurants, and time together at her dance rehearsals and studio sessions. My daughter can talk, honey, she says, admiring Culture's curiosity. It'll be like 10 questions in a minute. Yeah, she's smarter than you. Let us know that. Her daughter loves her piano lessons, and 2 of Cardi's dancers, the twins, she calls them, gives Culture and her cousin private dances, having started letting the girls get pick routines on TikTok per Cardi's instructions. So Wave already listen. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about no more of the kids. Despite the trials that came with motherhood, Cardi wouldn't change a thing. Telling me once she became pregnant with Culture, God, listen, I want to get to the music. I want to get to the music. In December, Cardi filmed herself on Instagram Live while she was at her wits' end, and then it was gutting. This mother effer really likes to play games with me. This is they talking about when she was going off on Offset. Remember when Cardi was spiraling out when Nicki Minaj released her album? Yeah, this is all for storyline. She was spiraling out. Remember when Pink Friday 2 was coming out and Cardi was playing her antics? So she said, this mother effer really likes to playing games with me, and I'm at my most vulnerable time. She said, only her head above the neck and only her head above the neck and her slender, frantic, stiletto nailed fingers were in the frame as she hollered, her voice cracking and face slipping off a camera as she went on. You really been doing me dirty after so many effing years, she yelled. And so crazy, I got to go on the effing internet because whenever I tell you something, you don't take it seriously, and I'm tired of it. I'm so effing tired of this issue. But she called him a BAN. You know what I'm saying? A bitch ass, you know. So she was talking about Offset, her husband, nearly of 7 years. Not long before the clip, Cardi has made a surprising revelation on another Instagram live that she actually has been single. Another thing that she was doing around Nicki Minaj release date to try to glean some sort of attention. But later she revealed that the world and that things were more complicated. In February, she went on a Valentine's Day date with him, and they were caught trying to hide makeup smudge from making out. The next month, she clarified that despite the breakup, she was still married. She doesn't include Offset when she lists the people who live with her, but later she tells me when Offset comes around, he comes around. So he's helping her, he's a helping hand too. In recent weeks, the couple attended the Knicks game and the Met Gala after party for Mother's Day. Offset gifted Cardi 3 diamond chains and covered her mansion in flowers. So Cardi B and Offset began dating in 2017 when Offset raps trio the Migos and hip hop were hip hop's hottest and most trend-setting unit. She'd had some rough dating experiences with boyfriends, including one who'd overpower her in physical fights and another who made her feel like she was too broke, too skinny, too loud, and too ugly. So once I cut him off and I stopped caring about that, what he thought about me, she says, I started doing videos on Instagram. That's how I got famous because it was like, F him. So in Offset, she finally found a partner who built her up and breaking her down, who built her up instead of breaking her down. Yeah, because he needed your bag because he knows that he's not making no money like that. Meal deal, meal deal. So when I met Offset, he was super rich, and I just got my effing first $200,000 in the bank. She recalls he never made me feel like I was little to him. He actually always used to tell me, "You a effing superstar. Watch." So Cardi and Offset married at home in sweats in September 2017. Cardi's all right. Though Offset later proposed to Cardi flashily at one of her shows, complete with an 8-carat ring, Cardi moved in with Offset in Atlanta in his hometown, but hated it, feeling isolated. Yeah, because he was your PIMP. So the couple appeared on the Rolling Stone. Listen, I want to get into that. Let's keep going. In 2022, Cardi was sentenced to 15 days of community service for sending black men to beat on black women in a nightclub. All right, for attacks at bartenders in the club in Queens. And what authorities alleged stemmed from a romantic rivalry over Offset. She pleaded guilty to the charges against her before a trial was set to start, saying that she was modeling accountability for her children. All right, so that's that. In LA, I asked Cardi what she cherishes in her marriage and what has been difficult. The question seems to suck the air out of the room, but she answers calmly. The part I love is that we really like each other, like support system. We're really both each other's cheerleader. I don't really like talking to people. I'm not as social. When did you start having all these social issues? Because you used to be popping it out in the club and doing et cetera, et cetera. When did you start having social issues? Because you think you big. That's why. They don't Atlantic Records done boost this girl mind up so bad, and this is why she can't sell no records now. It's talking about she ain't social. He'll be the she don't if I want something from somebody, he'll be the one to ask because I don't like asking. So when she gets challenges in her marriage, I'm surprised to hear her zero in on her own shortcomings. We have our own bad stuff. She says, we're from two different worlds. Sometimes I cannot be, not that I cannot be a wife. I'm just like, my career takes my life. You know what I'm saying? My career comes first, then my kids come around. And then sometimes I don't realize that I'm putting so many things before my relationship, like Ken Barbie. All right. So I tell her that sounds accountable. Like she's saying there's room for me to grow in the relationship too. I don't want to grow, Cardi says. I remember last year when we were going through our hard time, and it's like, put your album out. You're overstressing. You're overstressing. When was the last time we went on vacation? And it's like, I don't got time to go on a vacation because this comes first. This comes first, and then my kids come second. You just said this. It's like you repeating yourself, or is this poorly written interview? The little things I had to take care of comes, and I feel like I probably put my relationship last. They just literally said this. This is like a filler buster. So I asked Cardi what she's decided to do about her marriage. I think it's through. We think what she said. I think it through. We think it through because we do love each other. It's not even about love. We're best friends, and it's like, okay, well, there was a time that I didn't have a best friend or I didn't have a support system. It's not even about how do you leave a partner. How do you stop talking to your best friend? He ain't your best friend. That's your problem. That's your problem. I'll be giving these people too many titles. That is not your best friend. So once Cardi drops her second album, she'll finally tour, which will mean missing culture and wave for long stretches. Would she consider a residency of some sort Adele and Usher have taken up? No, you've got to go for everybody from different states, she says. That's how I promoted my mixtape. No, you've got to go for everybody in different states. You're also not in the same position you were when you did that. I offer. Exactly. She's not. And don't nobody want to see Cardi in no Las Vegas residency. That's for catalog acts. People who've already did the work. Cardi need to go and tour this United States of America, sell her tickets for $20 like Megan Thee Stallion, make the venue look like it's packed up, give them tickets out like Megan Thee Stallion and make the venue look packed up. Because ain't nobody paying $500 to see no Cardi B. They not. So yeah, but somebody might not be able to afford a ticket to see you in a residency like Vegas, she reasons. Somebody could just afford a $200 ticket, but they can't afford a $200 ticket, then a flight. If they really want to see you, they will. Yes, they will. And you got to touch everybody. That's why I feel like a lot of these people don't have fan bases. The nerve of you to talk about this because they never touch the people. They just become famous and they never went to a Chitlin circuit. They never been to Greenville, North Carolina. They never effing went to Baton Rouge type of ish. Cardi is so delusional. She is delusional. So when she first got popular as a dancer, she recalls she hit little clubs just for $2,000, running around the country in her old manager's PT Cruiser. As a rapper, she remembers, I went to Mississippi, a small town, and they was having a slap fighting contest. I had the best time of my life. I remember one time I went to Memphis, and oh gosh, I couldn't even see because it was so smoked out. They was having a banana sucking contest. I loved it. Oh, that one time in North Carolina, they had me performing in a barn. There was a lot of people in there. Really, who can verify that? One of the ways Cardi B measures her success is by the rate of which ordinary people consume her music. Take like what freestyle? When she released after an online hiatus, it debuted at number 38 on the Hot 100, and it didn't chart on the global Spotify at all. And while many have higher expectations of her. She says it was satisfying. I think it was good for a freestyle that you released to major. Like, stop it. Stop trying to rewrite history. If this was a freestyle, put it on Dat Piff and put it on YouTube. Like, don't upload it to the streaming platforms. So I feel good because it was a freestyle. I feel good because every other day I see so many artists, so many people TikToking, doing videos, rapping it. So I know the real people are listening to my ish. Yeah, because you forcing and you're doing TikTok packages too. But you don't want to talk about that. You want to obscure all of the little slick things that you do in the background. to try to keep your name and keep your music afloat, and it don't work. Cardi B emerged on the scene as people's princess from working class background, and she's been vocal on the social issues too, from New York cities and state governments to social security and immigration. A political junkie with a encyclopedic recollection of American presidents, she became sought after. Let's see, sought after pundit endorsing, interviewing Bernie Sanders and then Joe Biden as they pursued the presidency. Last November, she declared that she'd never do it again for any president or hopeful. By March, she had told LA radio host Big Boy that she wouldn't even vote in the upcoming presidential election. She tells me she means it. I don't F with none of y'all in words. She says Biden or Trump. Before, she has seen Trump as a dire threat, but under Biden, she felt the layers and layers of disappointment from what she sees as domestic and foreign mismanagement. The cost of living is too high, wages are low, and too little is being done about it. She says, I feel like people are being betrayed. And wasn't you just saying that you were so rich the other day and how you was about to be talking cash money ish on your next feature? Why are you worried about it? Don't you got enough money? Ain't that whipped cream selling? So it's like, damn, y'all not caring about nobody, she says. Then it really gets me upset that there is no solutions to it. I think that's what they meant. This is a solution. I know there's a solution because you're spending billions of dollars on any effing thing. But yet she failed to say what they were spending the $1 billion on. Like, be descriptive. Like, shut up. After President Biden insisted the U.S. could fund both the Israel and Ukraine in their respective wars, they said that. She didn't say it. So listen, let's scoot on. So as we talk politics, Cardi is mindful of her words with her life under a microscope. She struggled lately with how much to open up on anything. The impulses that would have made her both a public darling and tabloid target are similar. She's had an uncanny willingness to be staunchly opinionated and bewilderedly honest, to be imperfect on camera, to divulge the typically embarrassing now. Typically embarrassing. Now, even on her album, she's been hedging. I really want to talk about life changes that I have been dealing with since the past 6 or 7 years, she says of her new music. But then it's like, I feel like people don't deserve to know because people use that against me. Shut up. Let's talk about this. Shortly after the video, eviscerating Offset, Nicki Minaj, with whom Cardi has had a hostile relationship for many years, posted a photograph of Michael Jackson gleefully peering out of a car window, which many thought mocked Cardi's furor. A flurry of blogs and commentators ran stories about the perceived slight. Cardi's assumed response, "Take your man to a park and leave me alone," she had written on X, and the women's warring fan bases. The women's warring fan bases. So as Cardi opened up about the breakdown in her marriage, and online ecosystem turned it to gossip fodder and stand war artillery. But for as much as she shares online, Cardi would say that she actually prone to keep even more to herself. I'm honestly a sufferer, she says. Yeah, and you pop it, and you've done a lot. You've done so much. I believe that if Cardi B was to apologize to Nicki Minaj for things that she's done and be sincere and get rid of the black girls that you use to make yourself look gangster, like Star Brim, who's probably in your ear and telling you, "Oh no, don't do that." You know what you've done. You know what you did in the past, and it's sad that you have so many people fooled in the general public. You know what you've done, and then for them to try to use Nicki Minaj's name, and it's like, what did this have to do with anything at all? If you had any type of control, like you try to make it seem like you did, you would have told them to remove her name from this interview. This didn't make any sense about it. It didn't make any sense. I asked Cardi what her self-care looks like. Being at home, she says, I don't care about that. 3 weeks later, it's 2 a.m. in New York, and Cardi B is at Jungle City Studios trying to perfect two couplets on the new song. She gives it 13 takes before Brunson, the engineer, suggests some tea. So Cardi sips the tea. I'm not reading all that bullshit. It's like, all of this for what? What is she really doing? So right now, Cardi is prioritizing songs from the album that have features or need them placed. She wants them to sound irresistible to the artists, who she says span a gamut of rappers and singers. She also mentions that she had fun working on a song with DJ Khaled, but won't confirm what for. So I can only hear the new song seeping out of her headphones. I catch the Afro-Caribbean energy of the beat. Now she, She catches the Afro-Caribbean energy of the beat and then hear Cardi singing speedily in the rather high register. With with every few attempts at the line, she's trying to get down, and she and Brunson work on tweaks, bringing the pitch down, rapping them more, and even changing the lyrics slightly. Sounds effing terrible, Cardi mutters. So don't be hard on yourself, Brunson says brightly. She says, shut the F up, Cardi bites back cartoonishly like an exaggerated mob boss. I effing hate it. She tries again about 33 more times. In the process, she stops to talk about some random topics. The cable broadcast news network her dad used to listen to, loving New York and relaxing with ASMR. At one point, she sniffs the air and senses that Offset had been in the studio the night before. It smells like weed and it smells like cologne, she says, but I don't smell P word. Better not come to my studio with no hoes. So I'm surprised that Cardi B is back on the East Coast after having banished herself in Los Angeles to finish the album. She tells me a lot of her family has moved out of her house, leaving just Marcelito to the kids, Marcelito to help with the kids. She has to look for a nanny, something she's deeply uneasy about. For now, she's leaning more onto her parents, but she's wary of overextending them. I have them kids. She says they come out of me, not my mom's. They're mine. Offset is around and helping out, but just finished his own tour. But Cardi still feels stretched thin. My kids come first. My kids come before everything. How many times she gonna say this? You know what this and you know what this article feels like? It feels like an irrelevant essay where it's just like they didn't really hit on it. Like this was just a long essay for no reason. How much longer they got this? Yeah, I'm not reading all of that. Listen, I'm not reading all of that. I played myself even reading this much, and we up to 41 minutes. I want to say this. Cardi is trying to set the tone for her new music coming out. She's headlining the BET Award Experience. There's mega tickets available for that event next month. She's not selling out like that. The music's not going up like that. And it's like she's trying to paint these pictures of like people trying to get people more interested in the Cardi B brand. How many people is going to click on that interview and actually read all of that and feel like Cardi B is even worth reading all of that? I played myself. We have 42 minutes and I've read all of that. Like, yo, I don't feel like I learned anything but like manipulation. And she talked about Offset and Offset come, the kids would come for them to this, that. This, like, that's what it's supposed to be. I don't get it. I don't get it. And I don't understand why why they brung Nicki Minaj up in your interview. Cardi, let me tell you something that I know you're struggling with. You're trying to figure out how can you war with Nicki? How can you beef with her? How can you get the attention that Megan is? I know that this is what's going on in Cardi's mind, right? She's like, if I can just get a little attention like Megan Thee Stallion did from Hiss, if I can just get a little attention like Megan did on Hiss, I will have a date for my album immediately. They talking about they got a date for the album, but they not releasing it. Yeah, because it ain't no traction out here. And y'all better hope whatever you do for the BET Awards, what you trying to roll out next and trying to get geared up for June, you better hope that that sticks because it ain't looking good, right? So it's not looking good. Anyway, we've been here 43 minutes. That interview, I didn't learn anything new about Cardi B at all. You know what I'm saying? I didn't learn anything new. It wasn't nothing refreshing about it. It was a whole bunch of delusions, and they tried to mix in the current times of like that whole Twitter situation. Cardi B also, yeah, you could just tell that she is struggling on the confidence level as far as like music and as far as like her impact. So she might try to talk about it. She might try to say like, "Oh, I'm effing Cardi B" or this and that. Trust me, anyway, this is your boy LaRon, potent pondering, never pandering, never panhandling. Please subscribe to this channel if you made it this far in the video. Thumbs up the video. Make sure that you support the channel. Also, my Cash App is on the screen. The Cash App is $ potent pondering. So make sure that you support on the Cash App, $ potent pondering. I apologize for the long video. Like I ain't expected to be that long. Damn, I should have reviewed the article before I did all that. Yeah, we ain't reading all that. We ain't doing